In the headlines tonight, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and his delegation attend Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week. The renovation of St. Holy Trinity Cathedral Church is underway in Addis Ababa. Good evening to you all. A very warm welcome to ETV News. I am Grum Tariku. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and his delegation has arrived in Abu Dhabi, UAE, and are currently attending the opening ceremony of the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week. Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week is a global initiative championed by the UAE and its green energy powerhouse Madstar to accelerate sustainable development and advance economic, social and environmental progress. Shagai Mata has more.
Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week is a global campaign to promote sustainable development and achieve economic, social and environmental progress, spearheaded by the United Arab Emirates and its renewable energy powerhouse Madstar. The goal of Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week 2023 is to help all global stakeholders have meaningful conversations that result in achievable goals. The Prime Minister emphasized in his remark that the world's population is expanding quickly, increasing the pressure on natural resources.
On November 15, 2022, according to United Nations estimates, the world population passed the 8 billion mark. By 2030, when most of the Sustainable Development Goals are set to be achieved, it is expected that our global population will reach 8.6 billion. A rapidly increasing population is placing greater demands on natural resources. We are also witnessing related increases in emissions of climate-changing greenhouse gases. The well-being of our and that of future generations requires us to unite and generate innovative response to the effect of climate change.
Abiy emphasizes that the Green Legacy program is a courageous step to create a positive impact on the surrounding environment and the nation's major contribution to the global efforts to mitigate climate change while sharing Ethiopia's experience with the audience.
The Green Legacy initiative, therefore, is our bold action which has created national awareness on climate change, enabled the creation of green jobs, and is making a positive impact on our surrounding environment. A sustainable future is predicted on the commitment of a nation to collectively and inclusively realize such a future. Today, Ethiopia's Green Legacy initiative is the most extensive afforestation and reforestation program next to the Amazon. Our initiative will certainly contribute towards removing the equivalent of hundreds of millions of tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and reduce deforestation. This implies Ethiopia's significant contribution to the global climate change mitigation efforts.
The comprehensive partnership between Ethiopia and the United Arab Emirates, according to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed, is also growing in several areas.
Ethiopia's multifaceted cooperation with the United Arab Emirates continues to be strengthened in many sectors. The government of Ethiopia and UAE have a strategic partnership that aims to bolster trade and investment between the two countries. As Ethiopia looks to unlock its vast resources and assets through investment, we are inspired by UAE's success in building institutions that bring the best of global good practices for rigor and accountability. As such, the strategic investment arm of the government of Ethiopia, the Ethiopian Investment Holdings, is working closely with multiple institutional investors of the UAE to explore opportunities in Ethiopia across renewable energy, real estate, and agriculture, to name a few.
As it is deeply anchored in trust, respect, and a shared desire for prosperity, the Premier said that the bilateral relationship with the United Arab Emirates has the potential to serve as a model for catalytic relationships between developing and developed countries for mutual improvement.
Former Supreme Court Judge Freud Samuel stated that the peace process started in Ethiopia is in good progress. The Ethiopian peace agreement that started in Pretoria, South Africa, has reached a stage of disarmament, and he said this is the beginning of a culture of resolving conflict amicably, leaving behind the narration of winners and losers in the country's history, said the former judge in his interview with ETV. Johannes van Town has more on this.
Since Ethiopia made an agreement in Pretoria, South Africa that allowed it to resolve peacefully the 2-year war in the north, the peace situation is improving. The Pretoria Agreement, according to former Judge Freud Samuel in an interview with ETV, sets the stage for the war scenario that has been distorting in Ethiopia day by day.
There are some principles, for example, the constitution, the sovereignty of Ethiopia, and having a single one army at the country level. Those are principles which they agreed. And when it comes to DDR, that means it is a process. It is a conclusion, and it is a foundation for the process to come.
The former judge made the following remarks about the state of the peace process at the moment.
Cessation of fire is just effective. They are not fighting. Okay, then cessation of hostility is a process. Just basically, it's not. It is a process for permanent peace. About the hostility part, it is ongoing process. At this point, we don't see hostility.
Underscoring the federal government has taken a number of initiatives to launch appropriate basic services, infrastructure repair, and humanitarian assistance, the former judge said that the disarmament of the TPLF is proof that the peace accord is being carried out and that the nation's future is looking up.
Settling down this type of conflict is by discussion and by agreement. That's not our history, because always we have a kind of winner and a loser's history. This is a first experience that both fighting parties, the parties who have been in conflict, are sitting down and trying to figure out how to settle the whole thing. So this is a kind of new experience, and everybody should understand also that if we are so suspicious and if we are so skeptical about the whole process, that should be understood.
In order to fully implement the peace process and achieve sustainable peace, Freud recommended that the community place more emphasis on positive than on negative factors.
We shouldn't be a kind of cynical about the whole process, and we shouldn't be negative about everything. Whatsoever TPLF does, there are a bunch of people come out and they say all kind of negative things. Anything the federal government does, there are a kind of social media and everybody's making negative out of that. I think that's not going to help. What's going to help is, if you ask me, all of us let us try to a kind of help the process, at least by not confusing the public, because at the end of the day, if the public is going to be a kind of negative about this peace process, is going to fall apart. This is not about TPLF, few people in TPLF and a few people in federal government, but this is about Ethiopians.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners customers securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Theta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and World Remit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Birr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
Timkat is an Orthodox Christian occasion to mark the baptism of Jesus Christ in the River Jordan. People travel to Ethiopia to take part in Timkat, which involves processions, singing, and dancing. Spending time in Ethiopia is an excellent way for tourists to get an insight into the religion, culture, and traditions of the African nation. One of the most important festivals on the Ethiopian calendar, Timkat, is celebrated across the country. Tourists in Ethiopia during Timkat are treated to 3 days of festivities.
I'm in Ethiopia and first day here, and so I never seen a big ceremony like this before.
That's I think it's a good sign to the world. I noticed, I read it in the newspaper. I think it's very important to support these kind of rituals, because we have to pass them on to the next generation.
Timkat falls on the 19th of January, 20th on leap years. Preparations called Katara begin the day, and the full event lasts for 3 days. Timkat commemorates Christ's baptism and takes place over 3 days. The most important day is the 19th of January, and this is when the blessing of water and the reaffirming of baptism vows to take place. There's also an interesting culture of throwing lemons, usually by youth. A person of the opposite sex throws lemon by way of expressing his child love. If the person on whom the lemon is thrown says they're okay with it, then a romantic relationship develops.
Welcome back, and you are watching ETV News. The renovation of the St. Holy Trinity Cathedral Church, also known as ቅድስት ሥላሴ, is well underway here in Addis Ababa. The church, which is the highest ranking Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo Cathedral Church, has been giving religious services for over 90 years. Habtam Washagre compiles the following report.
The Holy Trinity Cathedral Church, also known as ቅድስት ሥላሴ, is one of the oldest Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo churches in the capital. The church has been providing religious and social services over the past 90 years.
በንጉሱ በቀዳማዊ ኃይለ ሥላሴ አማካኝነት
The Holy Trinity Cathedral Church has established during Emperor Haile Selassie in 1931. After its establishment, the construction has interrupted due to the invasion of Italian forces in 1936. The first phase of the construction was completed and commencing services after the defeat of Italian forces in 1941. The age of the Holy Trinity Cathedral Church is over 90 years.
The Holy Trinity Cathedral Church constructed and equipped with modern technologies, and it can be one of historical and tourism destination. Recently, efforts were underway to renovate the Holy Trinity Cathedral Church.
ይሄ ካቴድራል የተሰራው በአውሮፓ ስታንዳርድ ነው። በዚህ በአገራችን በአፍሪካም የለም። ይሄ በጣም የተለየ ነው። ይሄ
This cathedral church constructed based on European standard. There is no any church being constructed like this in Africa. The construction design originated from Italy and France. The church has special architectural values. The angels and crosses are sculptured from stones. As we have seen here, it has 4 Gospels, which are Paul, Marcos, Luke and John sculptured. Recently, the dome has some sanitation problem and the main building is cracking. The outer part of the church is affected by algae. Thus, we are working to renovate the church without touching its architectural and historical values.
The general public needs to scale up efforts to realize effective renovation activities in a bid to reinforcing the religious and historical values of the church.
Ethiopian Epiphany, or Timkat, has been playing a significant role towards promoting and advertising the cultural dressing style, the traditional clothes and hairstyle of the community for long. The demand for Ethiopian traditional attires usually increases during holidays, particularly for the celebration of Ethiopian Epiphany, or Timkat. The renowned marketplace, Shiro Meda, is an ideal place for such traditional clothing. Here in Addis Ababa, Jerusalem Betsa has more of this.
During the festival, Ethiopians come with their best dress for the day. Almost all of the attendants appear at the celebration in new or clean traditional clothes. Particularly, women appear at the celebration wearing new, clean or cultural dress. This practice of looking good in terms of dress and enhancing beauty is reinforced by the Ethiopian proverb ለጥምቀት ያልሆነ ቀሚስ ይበጣጠስ in Amharic, or roughly translated into English as let the dress that's not for ጥምቀት end into shreds. Therefore, ጥምቀት has significant contribution towards promoting and advertising the cultural dressing style, the traditional clothes and hairstyle of the community.
Ethiopian traditional costumes are exotic and represents rich history and culture. They are made of woven cotton. In rural areas, these cultural clothes are worn regularly. But in the cities like Addis Ababa, these cultural clothes are occasional outfits for holidays, including the New Year, Christmas and other Ethiopian holidays. The Shiro Meda traditional clothes market is an ideal place for witnessing such colorful market.
One of the notable traditional clothing market in Shiro Meda, residents and foreign visitors usually flock to the group of stalls lining Dottovenu to do their shopping. The market gets more crowded at holidays, especially during Epiphany holiday.
Well, it's really interesting because like how the way they knit it, or even how they did embed it on the material itself, it's really interesting. It's like a handmade. So for me, it's really precious stuff that to have it as a souvenir.
It's very, very wonderful. My experience here for the first time has been absolutely amazing. To buy, right now I'm here to buy traditional clothes. Yes, I'm finding it for not just for me, but my kids and also my family back at home.
Yeah, I bought it already. I had one dress. So there, that's what I got. So it's like a cotton, which I like it a lot. It's like similar to my country. And they have like, if you can see all the details, so they did all of these by hand. So I think it takes a lot of time for them to do the whole dress. And even the colors, I think it will be symbols of your flag.
Yeah,
it's like yellow, green and red. Yeah.
I invite you to visit the Shiro Meda cultural clothes market to get original Ethiopian cultural clothes in your stay here in Addis Ababa.
Tour operators disclosed that exclusive tour packages have been prepared for tourists coming to Ethiopia to attend the Timkat festival. Timkat, or Ethiopian Epiphany, is celebrated across the country with various religious and cultural events, marking the baptism of Jesus Christ in the river Jordan. This year, the festival will be celebrated nationally with special programs in various towns and cities of Ethiopia, including Gondar, Lalibela, Zwai, and Bahir Dar, where tourists are invited to attend. Tamkat, which is one of the outdoor festivals in Ethiopia, is a two-day celebration. It was registered as intangible cultural heritages of humanity by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, in 2019. Jinkai University is strenuously conducting research on agriculture, fishing and tourism to solve lingering problems of the community. River Omo, which flows throughout the year, is an ideal river to carry out research on agriculture and fishing. Koshumel Sow has more on this.
Jinkai University, the youngest fourth-generation public higher education institution, is established in 2017. Jinkai, the zonal capital, 750 km away from Addis Ababa, is located in the southern region and bordering with Kenya, highly dependent on River Omo. The university announced that it is conducting research on agriculture, fishing and tourism to solve lingering problems of the community.
We are working a great job here, particularly on indigenous knowledge. Since the university is located on the periphery, we are supporting the community by replicating indigenous reconciliation. The university is undertaking various activities to promote the potentials of cultural values in Omo Zone like Dishtagina.
In addition to accessing education in the zone, the university is also supporting the community by providing hybrid goats and cattle to farmers.
We have provided hybrid beef and cattle to farmers by conducting researches on the productivity and the nutrition value. We have cattle farm, goat farm, and dairy farm in the university compound, thereby helping communities in the university surrounding.
Welcome to the land of origins. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia is pleased to serve all your traveler banking needs. If you have money from any of these 16 countries, you can convert it to local currency by visiting our nearest branch. Alternatively, our secure Forex ATMs accept cash exchange, or if you prefer using your cards, we've partnered with Visa, MasterCard, and UnionPay so that you can withdraw cash from our local ATMs or make cashless transactions at thousands of local POS partners securely and with confidence. We are linked with more than 700 global banks through our direct SWIFT address, CBE Teta. We also work with 16 international money transfer agents, out of which Tune and World Remit enable you to make direct deposits into our savings and current accounts or our popular CBE Burr mobile wallet. Commercial Bank of Ethiopia, the bank you can always rely on.
I just want to tell you guys, Akwaba, Karibu, welcome to Ghana!
My name is Princess Umu Hatia. I am the globe-trotting princess and author. Welcome to my city, Accra. Accra is the capital of Ghana. Now, today I'm taking you on a tour to various places in the city. We're currently at the Independence Square in Accra. Now, the Independence Square is the second largest square in the world after Tiananmen Square. Accra has about 4 million people. Accra is a major economic trading hub of Ghana. in Makola Market. Makola Market is the second largest market in West Africa. This is where I come to buy all my fabrics, food stuff. It's a busy, bustly place. It's a lovely place to come. So if you want to get any souvenirs, Makola Market is the place to come. Now, come on with me.
Aquaba, Aquaba, oh sister, I know be your brider. Give me one chance, make I be a fighter, provider.
Welcome back in. You're watching ETV News. In our final story, the United Nations says some 8 million trees are cut down every year to make pencils, contributing to deforestation. The newspapers are cut into the right size, then graphite is glued to the pieces. The pieces of newspaper and graphite are poured into a roller, which rolls and compresses them into pencils. Kasaunchani has the following account.
An estimated 8 million trees are cut down every year to make simple pencils. A Kenyan-based company known as Momo Pencil came up with an effective way to reduce the number of trees cut down every year to make up simple writing pencils. They believe this is a way forward to help address the climate crisis.
If you look at the present day, we are suffering from climate action, and the best way is to reduce the number of trees that are cut for any purpose. So for that matter, 82,000 trees that are cut every year to make pencils. We provide an alternative. We take the newspaper and then turn it into a viable product, which is a pencil, providing an option for those people to use instead of the wooden pencils.
The process of making pencils starts with a newspaper collection. The newspaper are then cut into the right size, then graphite is glued to the pieces. The pieces of newspaper and graphite are then poured into a roller, which rolls and compresses them into pencils.
In the next 5 years, as Momo Pencils, what we want to do is to provide an option to be able to get into the market. We want each and every child in Kenya who goes to school to use our pencil and at the same time be able to plant a tree through our pencil. That way we'll reduce the number of trees cut. We'll also provide an option and reduce the number of wooden pencils in the market.
According to the United Nations, over 30 million hectares of forests are lost annually to deforestation, out of which 36% is for paper manufacturing and 42% is for manufacturing timber-based products that constitutes about 18 to 20 billion pencils.
Over now to a quick reminder of the headlines. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed and his delegation attained Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week. The renovation of St. Holy Trinity Cathedral Church is well underway in Addis Ababa. Well, you have been watching ETV News. Thanks for your company and have a great time.